This has to do with something which we are going to read next week's Parsha. What happens on next week's Parsha? Next week's Parsha is the famous story of the golden calf. And the Jewish people are behaving very inappropriately by creating a calf, calling it our God, the God of Israel. A true act of idol worship. Right? Idol worship. This is what is the golden calf. And it happens 40 days after the Torah is given. Moshe is coming down the mountain with the luchot, the tablets in his hands. And when he sees what's going on, he smashes, he breaks the tablets. God gets very upset. He is angry to a point that he is ready to erase the entire Jewish people off the face of the earth. He's done with that. Moshe, as the Raya Mehemna, as the faithful shepherd, and as a devoted leader of Israel, starts pleading with God to please forgive the people for their misbehaving. And he's asking God for forgiveness for 40 days and 40 nights, non-stop. And as the Torah says, Vayisnapal, he was falling on the ground 40 days and 40 nights, begging God to forgive them. But God is not ready quickly to forgive. Then Moshe uses a tactic, if we can use the word, that only Moshe can do something like that. He's threatening God. He tells Hashem, listen, if you forgive them, then Fajalasta, good. But if not, Mecheini na misifrecha asher kasafta, then erase me from the book that you wrote. I don't want to associate my name. I don't want to have my name affiliated in a Torah of a God who cannot forgive his people. Pretty strong. Right? Pretty strong. Hashem accepts it. He listens to Moshe. And he grants the Jewish people forgiveness. Vayomer Hashem, salachti kidvarecha. I pardon them as you had asked. What day did that happen? Yom Kippur, the 10th of Tishrei, which was the 40 days after Moshe went back to the mountain, and now Hashem finally forgave them. And it became since then the Day of Atonement. But Moshe still said those words. If you don't forgive them, erase me from the book. Our sages tell us a tzaddik who utters words, every word gets stamped. There's no word in vain. The fact that he said, if you don't forgive them, take my name out, even though the condition was not met, because God did forgive them, his conditional request had to take effect, and his name had to be removed, at least from one Parsha of the Torah. Which Parsha? The last Parsha, before he asked for it. Meaning, he said next week, take my name out. So the Parsha before that, which is this week, is where his name is being taken out. Symbolically. Some mention, wrote down in Hasidic books, the Moirinaim, the great Maggid of Chernobyl, who says that the week that Moshe's name is taken out, this week of Tetzaveh, is always the week of Moshe Rabbeinu's Yortzeit. The 7th of Adar is Moshe's anniversary of passing. He passed away the 7th of Adar. He was birthday too. And his soul left this world. So that's the week that his name is also leaving the Parsha. It's like a symbolic way of celebrating his passing. You're not here, your name is not here, and we are going only to relate to you with the word ve'ata and you, but not by name. In the other end, the fact that Moshe's name is not mentioned, although sages tell us, represents a deeper connection which Moshe had with us and with the Torah. A connection which is beyond a name. And as the Chassidus explains, and in the Kabbalah, that every name, even though the name represents the person and the neshama, but the name only relates to the revealed faculties of the soul. When do we need a name, technically speaking? Why do we need a name? For what reason and purpose does a person need a name? In order for somebody else to relate to you. If I want to respond to you, or if I want to call you, so I know David, so David will turn. If he wouldn't have a name, it would be very difficult. Everybody's going to turn around. Who are you talking to? Like this, I say David, I say Avram, and if there's two Davids, you say David Schneider, David this, you mention name. So seemingly, clearly, the idea of a name is connected to a person, but really in a so-called superficial way. Right? Superficially. You need to relate to me, I need to relate to you, so I want to lift up this cup, but it's hot, so we have a handle over here. And that handle allows me to pick it up and drink from it, which I'm going to do right now, by the way. So does the cup need a handle for the sake of holding the tea? No. The purpose of the cup serves a good purpose without a handle, just like the other cups which don't have a handle. But it serves a purpose to me. The one who wants to hold the cup in a more comfortable manner, I need a handle. So if you take off the handle, you will still have a good cup, a container of tea and water, and like many other cups which are with no handle. And the same is with a name. The person will be a perfect person without a name. You attach a name to it so we can grab onto something. He has which we call in English an identifying code, an ID. An ID. Who needs the ID? If you come to the airport, if you come to the bank, if you want to buy alcohol, you need an ID. You have to show who you are. It's only to relate to you. So in that case, achievement of Moshe Rabbeinu was when he got up and he said, take my name off if you can't forgive them. Which means, in other words, if you want to analyze, when was Moshe's greatest moment? Sit down with a classroom of young people, teach them Chumash, and you finish the story and you say, Kinderlach, what is Moshe's greatest moment? One person, one child is going to say, I think his greatest moment was when he met God in the bush. Someone else is going to say his greatest moment when he split the sea. A third guy is going to say his greatest moment when he stood and prayed for entering Israel. A fourth person is going to say his greatest moment when he stood at Sinai and God spoke through him the 10 Commandments. And we can keep on and discussing and get into a whole beautiful discussion and debate. When and on which point in this entire book would you place as Moshe's most wonderful achievement in life that you will say, this is Moshe in his core, this is Moshe in his essence, this is Moshe in its full glory, right? We can go on, we can have our discussion here. I'm sure we're going to have as many people that we have now at class. We can have at least double, if not triple, opinions. Just for the very fact that someone's going to say this, the other one's going to say something else. This is the usual. Chassidus says, you want to know what is Moshe's greatest moment? the moment when he's becoming blameless, when he's losing his name. When Moshe puts himself on the side, ready to be deleted from the entire Torah, which for Moshe, Torah was the highest and most important aspect of life, connected to God, connected to the wisdom of God, and on the very moment when Jews are in the lowest of the law, worshipping an idol, Moshe gets up there and he says with full force and confidence, forgive them! Forgive them! Kinderlach, what do you want? Little kids. Made a mistake. My Baba Liba used to say that Adam, first man, what is the biggest Rahmanas? What was the biggest pity on Adam? That he didn't have a mama. Why? Because after he sinned with the tree of knowledge, and God is about to chase him out of Gan Eden, a Yiddish mama would come. God, what do you want? A Yingele ate an apple. Come on, big deal. What's liver? You made a mistake. Come on, it happens. He had no mother. He messed up. Out. Right? Yeah.
Just 1 day old, right?
We have Baruch Hashem Rebbe Moshe. And Moshe Rabbeinu stands there by the Kisei HaKavod, by the throne of glory before God, and he says, come on, this is my people, this is my sheep. I'm not letting them off the hook. And you're going to have to figure out a way. And if it's difficult, getting deeper into yourself, Rebbeinu Shloilo, and find a place, and find a source that you can grant them forgiveness. To the point that he is putting himself on the line completely, never to be mentioned in the Torah. It's almost like disconnecting himself from that which he knows and he understands is his source of life. That's the most precious moment of Torah's life. If you want to find Moshe in the Chumash, where are you going to find him? You're going to find him in Tetzaveh. This is the place you are going to find him. Where his name is not mentioned, here is where you're going to say Ve'ato, and you. Hashem says you, your essence, which is higher than name, transcends names and letters and words. And as Chassidus says, what's Tetzaveh? Tetzaveh means connecting. Like we say in Hebrew, Avodat Tzevet. What is Avodat Tzevet?
Teamwork.
A teamwork. Connection of a team who works together. Tetzaveh means, Ve'ato Tetzaveh, you are connecting and unifying as Bnei Yisrael. You are the one who unifies them all. Unifies them one to the other and unites them also with their source, connecting them to God. That's what the menorah is all about, which is the first discussion of this Parsha, is to kindle the menorah. The menorah, as we spoke many times from the Kabbalah, the menorah, the seven candelabra representing the 7 different types of people, but all are being curved out from the one loaf of gold, kikar zav, miksho achas, all shining towards the same central middle candle, symbolizing a unified force of Bnei Yisrael. And this is the koyach of Moshe Rabbeinu. I heard this morning a talk the Rebbe speaks in Purim, 1966, Tafshin Chavav, Purim. Long, I didn't hear the whole thing, I wish I, at the time I listened to maybe a half hour to 40 minutes. And the Rebbe says something so special. He says that it says in the Megillah that Aman, got angry on Mordechai, that Mordechai did not bow down to him. So it says in the Megillah, Vayives be'enov lishloyach yod be'Mordechai levadoi. He felt like not satisfied just to take revenge of Mordechai. Mordechai was the one who did not bow down to him. Everybody else was okay. So he wasn't happy just to get rid of Mordechai. Ki giduloi, because they told them it's Am Mordechai, about the people of Mordechai. So Rabbi asked, Ma kesher, what is the connection? He does not want to get rid of, he feels unsatisfied to get rid of Mordechai because they tell him there's Mordechai's people. But Mordechai people are not against you. It's only Mordechai is causing trouble. The Rebbe explains, I heard this morning, he says that he realized that it's not about Mordechai. Mordechai's challenge with Aman was not that Mordechai's intellectual understanding tells them don't bow down to Haman. It's not that Mordechai's personal feeling tells them do not bow down to Haman. Igidlo is Am Mordechai. He realized that Mordechai is one of a nation called the Mordechai's nation. The people which they all share the same essential strength and power, ultimately not to bow down to Haman. This is not a Mordechai thing. They are all really not giving in to me. Even those who pretend to be bowing down to Haman, but ultimately at the moment when they realize that by bowing down to Haman, they are denouncing their connection to Judaism, at that moment, they don't do it. They all stand strong as Mordechai. The common denominator which Mordechai has between him and all the rest of the people is what drove Haman crazy, saying, I'm not just going to get rid of Mordechai, I got to deal with this whole nation. This is a people who carry in them a certain nuclear strength which doesn't allow them to really bow down to me. Even when it appears that they're bowing down to me, because for somehow they got a little sugar along the way, give them a little time, something else happens, and they're all going back to their God. This is not real. This is not a real catch. This is the quality of this nation. Am Mordechai. This is the idea of essence. And this concept is very much connected to Purim, to the holiday of Purim, because Purim, like the story of Tetzaveh, has something also much in common. What do we have common between the story of Purim and Parsha Tetzaveh? No? Anybody?
Uh-huh.
What do we find in common between Tetzaveh and Purim?
One man for the best.
No, because no name.
No name.
No name.
Which name is not mentioned in the Megillah?
Hashem name.
Very good. So here you see there is this, again a similar story. Just like in Parsha Tetzaveh. We don't have the name of Moshe. And we have to get into all explanation to find out that the nameless, which is in the Parsha, is actually representing the depth and the essence of Moshe. Same as when it comes to the Megillah. Famous question that everybody's trying to understand. You have a whole story which is taking place, and we read it every year in public, and everybody has to be there. And it says in the Talmud that even the Kohanim postpone their services in the temple, and they go to the main synagogue to hear the Megillah. They don't read it for themselves, because we need to publicize the miracle of Purim, and that's why we should do it in the midst of a greater community of people. And the Levites are also staying away from their services. And everybody gets involved in one public reading in order to publicize the miracle. There's a mitzvah to read about it. You read the whole story, and you finish the whole story. What's the idea of the story? Praising God for a miracle. But Rebbeinu Shel Olam, the name of God is not even mentioned once. It disappeared. One chapter after another chapter after another chapter. You finish the Megillah and you look back. What is going on here? And just like Tetzaveh is the exceptional Parsha in all the Parsha since Moshe's birth that does not mention Moshe's name, the scroll of Esther is the only scroll in the entire 24 holy books of scripture in the entire Tanakh which doesn't have Hashem's name. I mean, how do you have a chapter or a book of scripture of Tanakh without Hashem's name? So what's the pshat? So the interesting Gemara. You don't have to be jealous. There is tea, there is water. Everybody make yourself. Don't look at me that I'm the only one who's having a tea here. Oh, you also had. Thank you. Now I feel better. Looks like they're quiet. Is that what's going to happen until the coronas will disappear? People are going to be afraid to come to class? We're going to have to stream the classes?
For sure.
We're here.
Online.
They're afraid, of course.
What?
What we can do?
What we can do? Have to be careful. You have to follow instructions. The instructions so far, you can have classes, you can daven. The only thing they ask you is to wash your hands, and that's hopefully everybody should do. Wash your hands
It never
before class and
happened.
after class. And they say you shouldn't shake hands, so we're not going to shake hands. We're going to give you what do you call it?
Elbow.
Elbow, this. But I don't think there is any, I didn't see it, there's any instructions that people should not gather together as a class at davening. If the government will get into that, we will see then, but I think as it stands now, it's
As
kosher.
soon as everybody is local, it's okay. Everybody can.
Well, you think people, she just came back from Israel, Ruba.
Israel never know accept anyone from Europe.
From Italy, yes.
Not only Italy, French, Spain,
Italy, French, Spain.
Switzerland.
I
London,
went through French. I stopped at French at airport.
I just have my friend from Israel.
You came from
Spain,
Italy?
so
That's it.
They do not accept, but they travel.
We're all
there.
done. It's the same shit.
What did you say?
My friend from Israel, he traveled to Spain. He's in Madrid right now. So
They're
they
going to
do
come
not
back.
accept people from
No,
there.
you can come back. It's going to have to be 2 weeks in isolation.
2 weeks.
You say you can use 2 weeks of isolation.
Depends
A
who's
little
good.
quiet.
If it's good company, yeah, why not?
The Gemara says in Megillah, a very interesting question the Gemara asks. Every Yom Tov, everybody knows when it comes Yom Tov, what makes the prayer of Yom Tov special is the fact that we say Hallel. Shechiyanu is by Kiddush. So also Purim has a Shechiyanu. We say actually twice Shechiyanu. We say Shechiyanu the night of Purim, and we say Shechiyanu again the day of Purim, which is something very special. On Sukkot, we don't say Shechiyanu when we go into the Sukkah at night and then the next morning again. We say Shechiyanu once. If somebody wasn't there the night before, so he makes a Shechiyanu by day. Purim is the only holiday that we make a Shechiyanu by night, and then we make another Shechiyanu by day, and the reason is being explained that there is 2 different obligations of Megillah. One is maybe on the day itself, and one of these of the special Megillah reading, which the day Megillah apparently has a certain significance, a certain value, which the night Megillah does not have. There's all discussion, but we make twice Shechiyanu. But this is not prayer, it's a blessing. The prayer of every Yom Tov is, which makes the Yom Tov so highly exciting, is the prayer of Hallel. Hallel. We read all the chapters of Hallel. From chapter 115 in Tehillim to chapter 119, this is beautiful praises. It talks about The thanks that we offer to Hashem, Odul Hashem Kitov, Ana Hashem Ushiana, Ana Hashem Atzlichana, Keili Atov Eideko. Hallel. Pesach night, we say twice Hallel. Ma'ariv after Ma'ariv, during the Seder, half Hallel before benching, another half Hallel after benching. Chanukah. Every day of Chanukah, we say the whole Hallel. That would make Chanukah so special. What else is the Chanukah prayer different than the rest of the week? There's no Musaf on Chanukah. But so the Chanukah prayers is unique and special and exciting because every day of Chanukah we say a full Hallel. Pesach every day we say Hallel. Sukkot every day we say Hallel. We shake the lulav during the Hallel, in the beginning and the end. Hallel. As they say in Yiddish, it's Tetzaveh. It's all happening around Hallel. Comes Purim. No Hallel. No Hallel. Shacharit, Hoydel Hashem Giru Vishmoy, finishing Amida, Torah reading. Small reading about Amalek, which I'm going to read this Shabbos also. Very important, everybody to be in shul and hear the reading of Amalek. We finish the Torah reading. We read the Megillah. Finish the Megillah. We go home, have breakfast. What happened to Hallel? No Hallel. The Gemara in Megillah asked the question. No Hallel on what's it called? On Purim. Says the Gemara, 3 answers. One answer is Hallel. What kind of Hallel? Purim. Since the miracle of Purim, didn't we remain under the Hashverosh's government? No need, that's not enough to say Hallel. We were saved from Haman, but still the government was Achashverosh. We were under the rulership of a person which wasn't always the best for us. Achashverosh. Okay. Second answer, says the Gemara. A miracle which happens in Persia is a miracle. No Hallel for that. We only say Hallel for miracle which happens in Israel. So the Gemara says that's not true. Pesach didn't happen in Israel. Pesach happened in Egypt. And we still say Hallel on Pesach. Says the Gemara, yes, before we entered Israel. So then every country that you experience a miracle, you say Hallel. But once we moved into Israel, after that, miracle that takes place outside of Israel doesn't deserve the Hallel. Why not? Isn't God in Bellevue, Washington? Isn't there a God in Persia? We had such a beautiful miracle. Doesn't it deserve to say Hallel? What does the Gemara mean? Third answer is even better than all 3. What is the third answer? Omar Rabuna. Rabuna says, Kriyose zoi lule. We don't say Hallel, we say Hallel. Purim. Where is the Hallel? The Megillah is the Hallel. The Megillah is Hallel. What are you saying we're not saying Hallel? There is 2 ways of saying Hallel. You can say Hallel by reciting the 4 or 5 chapters of Tehillim that we do on every Yom Tov. And we can say Hallel by saying Vayehi b'mei Achashverosh hu Achashverosh. This is Hallel. This is Hallel. Why can't we by Pesach have a similar story and make this the Hallel? Not only that, Pesach you see the opposite. We read the whole story. We have a whole Agada, and a part of the Agada is Hallel. In addition to the Agada is Hallel. So Nishtana Purim, then Pesach, then Chanukah, then any other holiday, there is no classic Hallel. So it's already 2 questions. Nishtana is 4 questions. So we had two questions already. Question number one was, why is God's name not mentioned? Question number two is, why is it not Hallel? Every Yom Tov is Hallel, and now comes Purim is not Hallel. In the explanations that the Gemara gives, themselves need explanation. Good. What else happens on every Yom Tov? Every Yom Tov, we have a mitzvah to celebrate a Yom Tov. How do we celebrate a Yom Tov? We make a meal. We make a meal. We don't work, we make a meal. And the meal is we don't celebrate Yom Tov. We can't have Yom Tov without a meal. No, according to Jewish law, it's a part of Yom Tov. Do we send portions of food to each other before Yom Tov? No. Do we give gifts to the poor in honor of Yom Tov? No. You could, it's nice, but there's no special mitzvah to say that that's the way to celebrate Yom Tov is by doing these types of activities. No. In the meal itself, on Yom Tov, by the way, some people don't know, there's a mitzvah to drink a revit of wine. Every Yom Tov. V'samachta b'chagecha, you should be joyful on the holiday, is to drink a revit. A revit is usually about 5, 6, 7 ounces of wine. In honor of Yom Tov. Simcha. Wine is joy. More than that, if you want, you can drink, but there's no mitzvah. No mitzvah. Comes Purim, Chaya, Vinish, Libesuma, Bepuria, Ad, Elo, Yoda, Benor, Omon, Lebaruch, Mordechai. A person is obligated to drink enough wine that he should not know the difference between cursed is Omon and blessed is Mordechai. Imagine David Schneider has to drink wine Purim to the point that he says, I am voting only for Sanders. At that point, you know that he drank enough wine. And Arnold has to drink enough wine to the point that he comes to the end and he says, I'm voting only for Trump. Then you know that he drank enough wine. Adelo Yoda. But on Yom Tov we don't have it. So again, Nishtana, Purim, from the other Yom Tovim, that they have this type of obligation that we don't find seemingly in other holidays. Look, we have to have 4 questions. So what's the 4th question? Anybody wants to give a 4th question? Just to bring it to the full cycle of questions. It's a Purim question. Nobody is bothered with anything about Purim. Wow.
Why do we dress up?
Why what?
Dress up, no?
Oh, very good. We have a mitzvah, a minhag, at Volan Shulchan Aruch. Very good. It's okay. That's the way it should be. We have, according to halacha, according to Jewish law, every Shabbos you have to put on Shabbos clothes. The Shabbos clothes should not be the clothes that you wear during the week. It's clothes which is designated and bring out the respect in honor of Shabbos. Hasidim wore long coats on Shabbos, kapota. Even those who wore short jackets during the week, long kapota. Kabbalists used to wear white on Shabbos, white. Israelis wore a white shirt with shorts. Everybody with but they're Shabbos clothes. Shabbos clothes. Big day Shabbos. Yom Tov is Yom Tov clothes. According to the Shulchan Aruch, the Yom Tov clothes have to be nicer than the Shabbos clothes. You know that? Yeah. According to Shulchan Aruch, according to Jewish law, the Yom Tov dress code has to be looking nicer than the Shabbos dress code.
With the tie.
Basic. It doesn't say tie. It doesn't say tie, it doesn't say no tie, but there is a difference. There's Shabbos clothes, there's Yom Tov clothes. Comes Purim. What happens on Purim?
Clown.
A clown. A this, a that. In Shulchan Aruch it talks about putting on clothes. In Shulchan Aruch it says that you could even, people used to, today it's a little different, today I wouldn't suggest that. People used to put on, men used to put on women's clothes, women put on men's clothes. And there's not like silbash, prohibition of putting on other people's clothes, it doesn't apply on Purim. Hello. I wouldn't say today you should do it. People go on sugar, different hats, different this. You get dressed up, tachpaisos. Man Nishtana. What's going on Purim? That you put on yourself some sugar. All these 4 questions as one answer. Ata Tetzaveh. The word that we spoke in tonight's beginning of class. Purim is a day which marks a connection that we have with God and God has with us above names. This is the day that we are connecting and expressing the love that Hashem has to us in a way that is deep in the essence of our hearts and minds, times and places which is usually seem different. Comes Purim and says, I know you really are. Let's start with the Megillah. What's the Megillah? When you read the Megillah and you isolate every chapter on its own, there's no story. Hashverosh makes a feast and he invites his wife and she doesn't want to come and he decides to get rid of you. Normal na. Very normal. There's no miracle. That there are 2 people who are planning to assassinate Ahasuerus and Mordechai understands it. Normal na. No miracle. That Esther is the one who is being brought into the house and she's the most beautiful girl who reveals the context. No miracle. And that Ahasuerus had a sleepless night when Haman decides to activate the decree against Mordechai and they read the book for him and it says that he saved Ahasuerus' last life. Normal stuff. Sleepless nights is normal. Reading a book for the king is normal. Having all it's normal. But when you go and you put up all the chapters together, you say there is someone who orchestrates this old book. This doesn't make any sense. So who was he? He was hiding. He was hiding under who? He was hiding under Bigson, and under Ahasuerus, and under Haman, and under Mordechai, and under Esther. He is hiding under behind all those images. What is he hiding? He's wearing a mask. And our great Hasidic masters, I think the Moiranim of Chernobyl actually brings it, that the reason why we put on all these crazy clothes and we cover ourselves with masks, so usually it says, Allah says, because just to make excitement. Who is he? Oh, look how funny it is. And people are getting happy. Chassidus says, no. He put on a mask to show that the Rebishter, Almighty God, was wearing all kinds of masks. Every chapter of the Megillah, the same God putting on another mask. Here is he hiding under Bigson and Seresh. Here is he hiding under Haman. Here is he hiding under Charvoina. All the images, all the figures of the Megillah is one big mask covering, as a, veiling the real story behind it. The Rebbeinu Shloim, the Master of the world, who is here to protect us. That gives you the answer why his name is not mentioned. because it's there, it is full force in essence, and hidden, and in a way which is much stronger and greater than when it comes with a name. That's the power of the Megillah. And at the same time explains number 2, why we dress up. Why do we dress up? Why do we put a mask? Because this is the Yom Tov that we show that God puts on masks. And we put on masks. We are good people. Everybody's a good person. Everybody's a holy, pure soul. Today we put on a mask that we couldn't control our appetite, so we ate something we weren't supposed to. There was a mask. And we cheated, there was another mask. And we lied, there was a third mask. And we didn't come to class, there's a fourth mask. This is all masks. Go over to Ayid, take him off all those masks. There's a very deep, strong energy there, which is pure and holy, and it's waiting to be activated, to be unleashed. You know, unleashed means?
Loose.
Let loose. Let it come. Let it stream. It goes from both sides. God takes off his mask, and we have to take off our masks. So we're putting on a mask to say, whatever it is throughout the year, it's just a mask. Here, take it out. Oh, it's not you, it's somebody else. Thank you. That's what I wanted you to know. The Rebbe explains that's why we don't say Hallel. But the Gemara says that we don't say Hallel because the reading of the Megillah substitutes Hallel. Or when the Gemara says that we don't say Hallel because we are still under Achashverosh. Or when the Gemara says we don't say Hallel because we are still outside of Israel. It's all sharing the same common point. The point is, Hallel is a song of a revealed miracle. When you experience something in the open, you sing. Wow, the sea was split. You sing. Wow, the oil kept on shining for 8 days. Let's sing. The many and the strong were delivered into the hands of the small and the holy. Oh, let's sing. That's Hallel. And the Neshama starts singing. Egypt was killed, smashed, destroyed. We went out of the superpower, became free after 200 years of slavery. Let's sing. That's Hallel. That's what Hashem is revealing his eyes. That is represented actually by the land of Israel. What does the Torah say about Israel? That God's eyes is watching it from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. But then there's a different type of miracle. It happens outside of Israel. Outside of Israel means you don't see God there. It happens in a time when Achashverosh is still the king. What do you do then? For that, you need to read the Megillah. And when you read the Megillah, that becomes the Hallel. Because when you read the whole story from beginning to end, you realize that God was in each and every part of this story, organizing, orchestrating a whole program to get us to our to our place where we are now. That's why there's no Hallel, there's no need for Hallel. There's no way Hallel will be able to tell this story of Purim. Only the Megillah can tell this story. And that answers the third question. What was the fourth question? Question 1 was, why there's no name? Question 2, why there's no Hallel? Question 3, why we're getting dressed? Question 4, why is God's name's not mentioned? This is it. This is the real story of Purim. Purim is a tremendous holiday. A real important holiday. Sometimes, like good things, they get lost in the shuffle, they say, you know, between the food and the hamantashen and the vodka and the music and the dresses. always, it takes time, it takes effort to realize, not to let Purim go. So I want to first of all remind everyone about the few important things which come up. This Shabbos, the Shabbat before Purim, is called Shabbat Zachor. Zachor means remembering. You have an obligation in Torah once a year to remember what Amalek did to us on the way out of Egypt. We read this remembrance, the Shabbos before Purim, because Haman was a descendant of this Amalek. This Amalek, Mamzer, this is considered the biggest clipper. The biggest clipper in Kabbalah is Amalek. He's chutzpah. He's the one who crushes us down with no explanation. Just, cooling off everything, making everything into nothing. There was a famous chassid. His name was Rabbi Hillel of Parsha. Parsha is a city in Belarusia, not far from Babrois. They called him Rabbi Hillel Parsha. His family used to belong to the Hasidic dynasty of Chernobyl. But he became a very strong chassid of the Mittel Rebbe, second Rebbe. How did he become a chassid? There was once Shabbos Zocher, the Shabbos before Purim. And there was a chassid from the Alter Rebbe who came to his town. The chassid's name was Reb Zalman Zezmer. That was his name. And Reb Hillel saw the way Zalman Zezmer reads the Torah reading about erasing Amalek. He saw something which he never saw. He saw the guy really, really hates Amalek. So he turned to him and he said, "Where did you learn not to hate Amalek so much?" So Reb Zalman Zezmer told him, "Well, I learned, you're not going to be able to learn anymore, because the Alter Rebbe already passed away at that time. But you can go to his son, the Mittel Rebbe, is going to teach you how to hate Amalek." And that's what got Rabbi Hillel Parsha, who later became a big chassid of the Tzemach Tzedek and the Mittel Rebbe, to become a chassid because he saw the way another chassid was expressing a true, passionate hatred to Amalek. Amalek is the only one the Torah tells us we have to erase him from the face of the earth. You see an Amalekite, psh! And Chassidus talks so much about Amalek that he is the source of all our evil impulses, all of our evil midot, attributes. They all are rooted in this evil klipa called Amalek. In the beginning, Balak, what did Bilam say? In the song of Bilam, Reshit Goim Amalek, V'achrito Adei Oved. He is called the first of all nations, and his hand should be completely erased. It says in the Parsha of Balak. And a mitzvah to erase them, and this Shabbos is Shabbos Zocher, which is a biblical commandment to read and to erase Amalek. So number one, remember about the Shabbos. Number two, Monday is going to be a fast they call the fast of Esther. We are commemorating the fast that we fasted when we went to war with Shushan. And the fast starts by day, Monday morning, and it ends Monday 7:37, I believe, because they're changing the clock Saturday night. So 1 o'clock is going to become 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 1 hour.
So the Megillah is going to be read then at 7:37. We were planning to have a whole party starting 6:15 for families with kids. And tomorrow we will decide how we're going to go about this party. As you probably know, many public events are being restricted. So we are for sure going to have a Megillah reading, we're for sure going to have a meal on Tuesday. But exactly how to go around with the kids and this whole party, we have to make some decisions based on what all the synagogues are going to do in this particular situation that we are dealing with the corona virus, so to speak. But God willing, we should all be healthy and happy. And Tuesday, we're going to read the Megillah here in the morning after davening.
What time?
We're going to daven 7:30, and Megillah will be at 8:15, as we always do. And 8:15, 8:30 the latest. Megillah, it's not a long time, it's a 40. If you have to schedule yourself, it can be 9:30 at work. But we're going to have another Megillah reading at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, before the meal. For those who can't make it in the morning, we'll have a Megillah reading at 5, Midam Mincha, and 5:30 we're going to sit down and eat and drink Adelo Yoda. And David Nomatov is going to Israel. Are you still going? You sure they're going to let you in? You might come in, they're going to put you 2 weeks in isolation.
Okay.
No, it should be okay, no worries. Thank you very much, everybody. Laila Tov.